You know what? I've been DJing for many, many years, and I've been involved in the music industry from a DJ's standpoint for a long time. And I've gotten to meet a lot of people along the way, especially a lot of people within the culture of hip hop. Today, I was actually searching around for this record that I was looking for, and in the midst of that search, I came across a nice little stack of records that I've acquired over the years that I've gotten autographed by different artists. Some of these go back to the 90s. So I just thought it would be cool to show you guys some of these autographs and some of these people I've gotten an opportunity to hang out with and chop it up with over the years. So let me show you a few and let me see if I can remember all of these different times and places that I've actually met some of these people. Cool? All right, let's do it. The first one I want to show you is this 12-inch single of Busta Rhymes' Dangerous. Now, if I hold it a little closer, you can actually see the actual autograph. Is there now, if you can see that, it says 1998. I know exactly where I I got this autograph. I've been around Busta a few times, but I've only officially met him once. And this was 1998, right after I moved to Phoenix, Arizona. And it was at Power 92, the radio station here in town. And Busta was in town for a show. He came up to the radio station where I was, and I didn't work at the radio station. I was just hanging out with a buddy of mine, DJ Easy Street, who at the time had the afternoon show, I believe. And yeah, Busta and the whole crew came up there and did an interview on the air. And I brought my record up there, and he very graciously signed it for me. I also videotaped the interview that he did on the air. I am going to eventually post that. I have to find that footage. I kind of know where it is, but I have to, transfer it to like my computer and all of that stuff. It's kind of a hassle, but I have a lot of cool footage that I'm going to be uploading pretty soon here, hopefully. But yeah, this was 1998. Power 92 radio station in Phoenix, Arizona. And Bus is pretty cool too. Next up, Marley Marl. The Marley Marl. This one is a pretty easy one to recall as well because I've met Marley Marl once. No, I've met him twice, but the second time I met him was in Brooklyn, and I definitely didn't have anything on me. The first time I met him was in Boston, and it was at, what is that place called in Boston? Like the Boston School of Music or whatever that popular music school is there. There was a ceremony there that was thrown, and they were honoring all kinds of people. I'm going to talk about that in a different video, though. But Marley Marl was one of the people that was being honored that night, and he signed a few things for me that night. Really cool dude. It was kind of quick because it was a lot going on, so I was just happy, that I finally got to see, the leader, the not the leader, but like the front man of the Juice Crew, one of the greatest crews in rap history. So yeah, Marley Marl. Woo, just saying that is crazy. I met a lot of cool people that night. Look out for that video. Next up, we got the Beatnuts. Now, as you can see on here, I only have Psycho Les's autograph. I do not have Juju's autograph. This was at a show here in town, um, at a venue called the Bash on Ash. I don't remember everybody that was on that ticket. I just know that Greg Nice was also touring with them because that single had just come out. I don't even remember what that single was called. The bum 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 bum. No one's able to deal with us. That single. And you know, Greg Nice is on there. So he was actually on tour with the Beatnuts. I do remember there was a lot going on. People were all over the place. Of course, everybody, you know, was trying to get at the artists after the show. I DJ'd that show that night, but I definitely was running around trying to get some things signed. It was a great time, but unfortunately, I didn't make contact with Juju. I don't know why. You know, I know I was busy trying to get as many signatures as I could that night, but yeah, the world famous Beatnuts. Next up, we have Da Brat. Let me get you a little closer look at that so you can see that signature. I don't think there's a year on here, but this is definitely the 90s. Now, I got this in Milwaukee. This could have been anywhere between, I don't know, 93 and 97. It was somewhere in between there. It was at a huge concert called the Jam for Peace. And the Jam for Peace was this huge show that this guy named Tony Neal, who worked, not Tony Neal, Tony Fields, Tony Fields, who worked at the radio station V100. But big ups to Tony Neal too. Who he worked at the station. He was like a big wig in the station, and the Jam for Peace was a concert that he did, I guess, when he worked in California. Well, long story short, it was like an all-day concert. It started at 12 noon and went all the way to midnight. And there was like probably 30, 40 acts. It was just boom, 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 nonstop, 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 nonstop. And I'm going to try and get some more information because I would like to make a separate video talking about that show in particular because there was a lot going on, but there was a lot of people there. I met a lot of people. I think in that time period there was at least 3 of those Jam for Peace concerts in Milwaukee, if my memory serves me correct. But I met a lot of people over the years, and Brat was crazy. She's not like nobody else, that's for sure. And you can see a little clip. A couple of videos ago, I was talking about, on my Q&A hike video, I was talking about getting backstage in some concerts and meeting some people. And I mentioned my buddy Professor Pitt and the shows that we used to do on public access back in the 90s. And I mentioned, I put a link on that video to the episode of one of his shows that's also on this channel. Anyway, if you go back and you look at that episode, in the opening credits, there's a little shot, a short little clip of Pitt and the Brat talking and just having a ball. And that was from this concert, the same place I got this sign. So you'll see Pitt talking to Brat, and I'm actually the one that's holding the camera. But anyway, and she put on a blazing show. And when she was done and we were all backstage, man, I just remember, like, the Brat was like flawless. Her hair was like flawless. She wasn't like, she hadn't broke a sweat or nothing. It was just like she was just like picture perfect. I remember that vividly. I also remember getting a drop from her, and I remember she was like, "Oh, doing all this cussing and blah 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 blah." And I said, "Okay, can you do another one, but no cursing in it?" Which she did for me. Brad is mad cool, man. I hope I get to meet her again one day. Next up, whew, boy, do I love this group right here. This is X Clan Funkin' Lesson 12-inch, and that was signed by Brother J. Now, I've been around X Clan, man, like 3 times, at least 3 times over the years. But this particular time was right here in Phoenix, Arizona. I did a show, I did a video where I was talking about Public Enemy. I think it says Public Enemy plus toys plus comics, I think is the name of that video I did. Well, anyway, long story short, Public Enemy was on tour. They made a stop in Phoenix. They did an in-store autograph signing and performance at a local comic book shop, Atomic Comics, here in Phoenix. And X-Clan was on tour with them. So, I remember after meeting Chuck D again and Flav, I was standing outside with Brother J and Professor Griff. And we just had a real nice, cool conversation reminiscing about, you know, the 90s and whatnot. And, of course, I brought this record, and Brother J signed it for me. And, yeah, this is one of the greatest rap albums ever recorded. I say that a lot, but then again, there's a lot of great rap albums. This was, I believe, the first single from To the East, Blackwords, the first album by X-Clan. If you don't know, now you know. Check them out if you don't know about them. Pro-black, black and strong, all right? Brother J, and R.I.P. to Sugar Shaft and Professor X as well. Next up, we got Monica. This is her first single, Don't Take It Personal. That concert, the Jam for Peace concert that I mentioned earlier, this is where I got that autograph. That was definitely back in the 90s. Man, I just remember there was a lot going on backstage at that show. I mean, you had Houdini right here. Then you had Monica right here. Then you had, who was that? I can't remember. There was an R&B group, and then there was Goody Mob over here. It was just all of these different, you know, rap and R&B artists, and we was just, you know, everybody's trying to get in there. All these different hosts of different shows and the newspapers and television. We were all just scrambling trying to get, you know, as much footage as we could, and that's where I got to meet Monica. It was like real quick. We didn't get to talk or hang out or anything. I didn't get to interview or anything like that. My show was basically about DJs and DJing, so I wasn't really interested in actually interviewing her. But a drop or something would have been nice. But we didn't have time for all that. We were trying to get to Houdini and the Brat and Goody Mob, and I think Luke was back there, and Big Daddy Kane, and all these people. So, but she was cool. She was mad cool, man. She was mad young back then too. I think she was like 17 or something, 18, something like that. She was young, but she was mad cool. Big ups to Monica. Next up, we have the Black Eyed Peas when they were still cool. before before the Fergie chick. Anyway, man, now this took place here in Phoenix, Tempe to be exact. It was at Club Rio. This was like 98, 99, somewhere in there. And I'm trying to remember who they were on tour with. If my memory serves me correct, I am almost positive that they were on tour with Outkast. And I remember this was a TMC show, and I remember walking into the venue early during sound check. And I think they had catering in there. I think there was like, different kinds of pasta, like spaghetti and linguine and all of that kind of stuff. And everybody was just attacking the food. But I remember at one point I'm walking towards the stage, and then will.i.am was like walking towards me. Oh no, you know what it was? It wasn't Outkast. It was no, it was Outkast. It was Outkast. will.i.am was working towards me, and I just remember before I even said anything, he was like, "Yo, what's up, man? Oh man, it's good to see you. Blah blah blah. I'm happy to be here in Phoenix." Whoopie woo. He was like super super duper friendly dude. Um, but I got to meet all of them and got them to sign. This actually isn't a actual 12-inch cover. It's like what they used to call a record flat. So it's like advertising, material. They used to hang these up in record store in the windows of different record stores, and it's two-sided, so you can read both sides. But anyway, yeah, that's where I got to meet them guys at a concert. They were opening for Outkast. I hope I got that right. Cool fellas. Now this dude right here, Fat Lip. Now you know what? I've been around the Far Side pretty often. But when I was around Far Side, I don't think I've ever been around them when Fat Lip was in the group. So this one had to have been, it wasn't a Far Side show. It was just some show where Fat Lip was there. This one could have been anywhere, because I've been around Fat Lip, I don't know, 5-6 times over the years. This could have been at any one of those shows. And I'm not sure when this record came out. 2000 and... Well, I can't see that at all. What does that say? 2006? Something like that. I think I got this signed. I may have gotten this signed at the Crates 2-year anniversary party where Fat Lip performed. Or this could have been some years before that at Big Fish Pub in Tempe, Arizona. It could have been a number of places, but and it's like every time I see some of these guys, I'll just grab another record that I have from them and ask them to sign that. So, you know what I mean? It could have been any number of shows. But yeah, Fat Lip, mad cool. You know the deal. Those guys are just like who they are on the record. They just some cool down to earth fella. All of them, as a matter of fact, mad cool. Next up, we have the Visionaries, and this, you can't even see that. This particular signature is from DJ Redmatic. Now, I don't remember the exact place I got this sign. I do know it was the late 90s, early 2000s. Let me see if I can see a year. 2003 is this record. So, like I said, early 2000s. I'm not sure where I got this. I can't recall if it was a Visionary show here in town or was it just Redmatic somewhere. I'm not sure. But did get a signature from one of the beat junkies. And Visionaries are still doing their thing, I'm happy to say. Now this one is a Far Side 12-inch, Trust 12-inch. And this one I do remember where I got this one from. So he put the year on there, 2001. 2001, they were in town. It was just the two of them, Booty Brown and Amani. And I remember at this point, I didn't even know that it was just two. And I'm wondering how many people that were there that night um, didn't know that it was just two of them at that point. I knew that Fat Lip wasn't in the group, but I didn't know that Slim Kid had left at that point. This was at the Bash on Ash, and I just remember, man, that place was packed. That place was packed. And I just remember because I DJ'd that show and I also hosted. So I remember at one point before the show started, we were just like, "Hey, we got people still trying to get in. Can everybody move up?" So everybody moved up, and we were able to squeeze like another 100 people in the building. I mean, it was like sardines in there. And then there was still like 200 people outside of the venue who couldn't even get in because we were way over capacity. This was another TMC show. Ty was known for just packing the place. His shows, excuse me, his shows were known to be over capacity. He'd squeeze as many people in there as humanly possible. And it was a fantastic show. Like I said, I didn't know it was only two of them. And I remember thinking, oh man, these people are going to really be upset. You know, maybe they didn't know like I didn't know. Man, either if they did know, they didn't care. But these two kids right here, yo, they tore that place down that night. I don't remember who opened for them. I don't recall exactly, but it was a great show. And I've met these guys a few times over the years. Now this was another show. Um, this is the Stetsasonic Sally single, but it's autographed by DJ Prince Paul. He put 87 on there, but I think that's just when the record came out. This was definitely 2006, 5, somewhere in there. Prince Paul was on tour. I think it was called the Love and Hate Tour. And AC Alone was on that tour. And I can't remember who else was on that tour. But he came around there. He basically did a DJ set, and then he performed some stuff, and he had some people with him. It was a great show. And I had him sign this record, and I also had him sign the Prince Among Thieves album for me. And, if you know Prince Paul, then you know about that album. That album is probably in my top 10 rap albums of all time. It is that good. And they were supposed to make like a movie out of it, but I guess it never happened for whatever reason. And there was a trailer for the movie and everything, which I have somewhere around here. I need to upload that if it's not already on YouTube. Anyway, big ups to Prince Paul and Stetsasonic, one of my favorite groups. Okay, here we got a nice and smooth, sometimes I rhyme slow, single. As you can see, we got Greg Nice up there. This was signed at the show I mentioned earlier with the Beatnuts. Remember I said Greg Nice was on tour with them? That's where I got this sign, and that's why I don't have Smooth B's signature on here, because obviously he wasn't there. It wasn't a nice and smooth show. Yeah, one is better than none, right? Nice and smooth. Great song. Last one I want to show you that was in that stack was Pep Love from the Pros and also from the Hieroglyphics. I think Pep Love has one of the top 5 dope MC voices in all of rap. He's just got that smooth, he sounds like, Pep Love is dope. Period in the story. Hieroglyphics, all of those guys, all together and then separately, I've been around them more times than I can count over the years. Hung out with those guys. There is not a nicer group of guys in rap music. They are like right at the top of the list when it comes to cool, laid back, appreciative MCs in this rap industry thing, man. And so I've gotten several autographs from those guys over the years. There's no telling, which one of these shows I grabbed this. I almost think it was one of the what was that tour called? The CaliCom tour. You guys remember that? You recall that? I've got a CaliCom concert tee around here somewhere, but I believe it was the CaliCom tour, and I have some really cool footage of them where they were being interviewed by Professor Pitt, my homeboy, back in the late 90s. And I've uploaded small clips of that on a couple of different videos, but I'm going to soon have to find that whole clip of that interview. And also, they appeared on my show. Jay Biz, Peps Love DJ back in the day, did a little scratch session, and we recorded all of that stuff. So hopefully I'll be able to share that with you guys sooner than later. But yeah, no doubt, big ups to Pep Love and the whole Hieroglyphics crew. And that's all I got for you. I just had that small stack that I came across. I just never got around to putting them in frames. More than likely, it's because I just don't have the room for them. I've got autograph frames all along my walls of different people that sign album covers for me. Some of those I've shown you, and these are the ones that just was just kind of sitting there. I don't really have a place for them, on the walls as of yet. So I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to showcase those. Best believe I got a zillion autographs amongst this collection, and it's a pretty extensive collection, and we also got some in the closet there. So make no mistake, there's plenty. I'd never be able to show them all to you. We'd be here, for hours and hours. But anyway, I'm glad y'all hung out with me for a little while. I'll show you some of my autograph album covers. And I hope you guys can join me again soon for my next video. This is Daryl D signing off. You guys stay safe. Peace and love.